Hello and welcome to Reawakening the Sacred Self, finding the way back to our ancestral soul, where we have gathered together Indigenous elders, wisdom keepers, spiritual teachers, healers, visionaries, and inspirational speakers to share their wisdom and insights as to how we can live a spiritual life that enhances and strengthens our relationship with Mother Earth, who is the guardian of our ancestral soul. My name is Frances Billinghurst, your host for and the creatrix of this event, and I'm coming to you from Kaurna country, where the Kaurna people of the Adelaide Plains are the traditional custodians. So, mani ngā padni, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining me. Now, I am very delighted to welcome Puma Fredy Singona. Welcome, Puma. Thank you very much for giving up your time and being part of this event.
Thank you, Francis. Very happy to be here with all of you.
Wonderful. For anyone who is not familiar with his work, Puma was initiated by lightning at the age of only 6 years old. And since that time, he has been on his spiritual path and a mission as an Indian priest. I'll get him to talk a little bit more about that in a moment. His passion is rooted in the ancestral Incan teachings, and he continues the lineage from his grandfather, Don Maximo, who started sharing ancient wisdom and medicine, and Puma's been doing this in his own unique, inspiring, and heartfelt way. For many years, Puma has attended and facilitated international gatherings of spiritual leaders and also youth leaders with YES, foundation that stands for Youth for Environmental Sanity. Sounds very fascinating. Puma has been featured in books about the Alanian medicine path in Peru, including The Truth of Reality and The Puma and the Feather Flower, and is the co-founder of Singona, a cultural organization that teaches tradition of Quechua youth, and the founder of Wilka, a cultural and healing center for the youth of Chincharo. A lot of words there that I'm probably mispronouncing, so I hope I don't cause any offense. Anyway, the title of Puma's talks is Nankar. Oh, sorry, I'm not going to be pronouncing this correctly either, so I'll hand it over to you, Puma, so if you could help me with the pronunciation of your presentation.
Thank you, Francis. Noqan Kani.
Noqan Kani, meaning I am. So this sounds really fascinating. So before we dive into your actual presentation, and thank you again for helping me with the pronunciation, I would like to begin with you sharing your story, if you are able to, about your initiation as a small child. And what were some of the ancient wisdom practices that maybe you learnt during this period of your life that have led up to where you are today?
For me, everything started at 6 years old when I was hit by lightning. And here in the Andes, if you are hit by lightning and you survive, you are being chosen by the gods, you are being chosen by Spirit, by Mother Earth, to be a carrier of ancestral lineages. And my grandfather was one of the last wisdom keepers in our village, who was carrying millenary traditions of ceremony, wisdom, rituals. And he was actually looking for somebody that would receive these traditions, though it wasn't just choosing someone. It was about having specific experiences that would mark for him as a sign that he could pass on this sacred knowledge. And after many people that have tried to receive this lineage, I was hit by lightning at the age of 6. And that for my grandfather was a sign that I was the one to receive his lineage. So ever since grandfather started teaching me these powerful traditions, rituals, ceremony, energy work, myths and legends that connect us to our past, and powerful cosmovision, a way of seeing life in a sacred way. And this was the origins for me to walk as a medicine man, as an Andean high priest. And ever since, I have been in ceremony, helping, supporting the powerful healing process of our whole global family. In my training back then, my grandfather always used to say that I was being trained for global healing, as a global healer. So back then, I didn't know what that meant, though now I completely realize what this training was for. It was for us to share these powerful traditions with the whole planetary family, with the whole planetary community. So ceremony for us is a way of life. It's a way of seeing every moment in our life in a sacred way, by blessing our sacred time and space, by supporting consciously the healing process of our family and community, and by being in a very powerful communion, oneness with Mother Earth, spirit allies, elemental forces, cosmic forces, ancestral forces.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for sharing. So, Kani, I'm going to stumble over this word, and I do apologize. I'm just going to say the English version. I'm just going to opt out there. It's the title of your presentation, from which I understand means about the power of reclaiming and realizing who we are. And this opens up so many questions that I have. So let us begin with, what is your explanation of self-realization and why is it important today?
Dear Frances and global family, we cannot fulfill our mission here on Mother Earth, our sacred service here on Mother Earth, here in this life, unless we realize ourselves. So the first step, here in the Andean traditions was self-realization, was the discovery of that I am, and with that powerful, generous blessings of our Great Spirit, Cosmic Mother, Cosmic Father, that I am was infinite. First, you had to reach this self-realization process by the age of 12 for the boys and 13 for the girls back in ancient times. Nowadays, there's no more protocols, and we're missing many of these initiations in our young people that could help them discover early enough this sacred mystery of I am. We always believe that while you are here, you could open up your heart and feel so much power of will that you could become anything that you have dreamt of, anything that you ever wanted. And once you realized yourself as that I am, you could be of best service here on Mother Earth, to family, to community, to this planet. So I am a Noqan Kani is a very powerful foundation. At the same time, is the genesis of our service, is the origins of our service. For example, in the journey of Noqan Kani for me, while we are born into this life and we learn our name, who we are, our parents, our family, our community lineage, it was not until I was hit by lightning and survived that I was going to be trained as a medicine man. Until then, there are infinite possibilities for everything that can be manifested in the I am. After that experience with the lightning, I had grown up, just with play, just with innocence, just with ceremonies and rituals, to that consciousness of I am medicine, I am ceremony, I am rituals, I am one with everything around me. And in that oneness, I'm one with the divine. I'm one with everything that is sacred. So that was the self-realization. That was the Noqan Kani path I woke up to. And we're constantly going through these Noqan Kani portals. We call them portals. They're like powerful initiations that life gives us. Some that have been programmed even by our ancestors at specific ages, like this one at the age of 12 or 13, and others that have been programmed by cosmic events, like when you're hit by lightning, when you are, present in specific days, when you see more than one rainbow. Like it's very sacred here if you see 4 or 5 rainbows at the same time. And here in the Andes, it's actually possible. Or for example, when you have planetary alignments, when you have specific eclipses, all those astronomical events marked as powerful portals of self-discovery, self-realization. So our ancestors used to use these portals to renew our whole soul agreements, soul contracts. If we came to this life to live a specific life, we could change that because we've also been given the sacred gift of free will. And with this willpower, we could discover other possibilities and other potentials. And if we opened our heart so much and we were so passionate, we could actually enter into those realms, into those realities, into those dimensions of who we wanted to be, what we wanted to experience in this life, and how we wanted to be of best service here on Mother Earth. So the Noqan Kani portal is an initiatory, it's an initiation portal. And it's the first step. In many of our traditions, you cannot be of best service unless you discover who you are. You cannot be one with Mother Earth, with Spirit, with the cosmos, unless you integrate all of the cosmos, all of Mother Earth, all of her spirit into your own being, into your body, into yourself. Otherwise, it is only theories of theories. Otherwise, it's only thoughts. Otherwise, it's only knowledge. And it's not life. It only becomes a life when it lives through you. It only becomes a life when it lives within you. So it was very important to become nature. It was very important to become spirit. It was very important to embody ceremony. It was very important to embody rituals. And a lot of these traditions here in the Andes are powerful practices of rituals and ceremonies that facilitate that self-realization process. Once you reach that self-realization, actually, it is only the first step for you to continue evolving, for you to continue growing and being even of better service to our family, to our community here on Pachamama. I am Noqan Kani is a very powerful portal of manifestation, because the second you say I am, and whatever you put afterwards, it's exactly what it's been co-created by your consciousness with the consciousness of the cosmos, of the spirit of Mother Earth, of the divine, of the sacred around you. So it was very delicate to say Noqan Kani. First, because you couldn't take it for granted. For example, we couldn't say I'm a healer because that was taking it for granted. We had to say I'm a healer also, meaning I'm still contemplating the mystery of everything that I am while I am being a healer also, because at any moment that could change. So for that reason, when we say I am, we're manifesting that energy into our lives. But at the same time, we're opening up to the divine mystery of everything else that it's possible for I am. So we could never take for granted that self-realization. But most importantly, we had to be generous with ourselves. For example, our grandfather used to say, you need to find inspiration in the people around you. What do you love about the people that inspire you? Is it their leadership? Is it their joy? Is it their wisdom? Is it their happiness? Is it their physical strength? Is it their intelligence? Whatever you admire, whatever inspires you, is already a part of you. And when you call in this energy and you integrate it into your being, it is so powerful that you have just realized yourself as that which you always looked up to. And if for whatever reason, for example, some levels of mastery in physical strength, in those times, I used to see people who used to be able to carry like 200 kilos, just like that, through the mountains, up and down without any effort. We used to say, well, I may not be ever as strong as that person, but a part of me is already strong in that person. So can you say I am strong to be able to carry all of that? Yes, because a part of you, which is in another person, is already being strong, is already being realized, is already being enlightened. So you never felt separate from any existence, from any consciousness. When you become one with it all, you could actually say, I am my brother, I am my sister, I am these masters, I am these elders, I am these children, I am these babies. At any moment, the I am became a portal for you to be infinitely whatever you wanted to be. I am an eagle, I am a condor, I am a flower, I am the tree of life, I am the river. There was no limitations. And these initiation portals were for us the portals of creating powerful family and community, which nowadays, because a lot of people no longer have that sense of family with spirit, with the elemental forces, with ancestral forces, with cosmic forces, we just call them alliances, powerful alliance. They become our allies. But before they were our allies, they're actually our family. And we considered our brothers and sisters always being a part of ourselves. And becoming I am represents a powerful initiation to that infinite realm of potentials and possibilities. When we didn't, when we didn't have anything specific to say about I am, like for example, my name, even that was delicate. You couldn't say easily, I am Puma, even though that's your name, because you are not just Puma. So you had to say, if you wanted to say something with absolute confidence in the Noqan Kani portal, you could only say with absolute confidence that I am the divine mystery, that which is yet to be. That is what we say. Noqan Kani Chairaj in Quechua means I am that divine mystery, or I am that which is yet to be, which was a very powerful prayer. And every day in the mornings when the sun is rising and we're in ceremony greeting the new race, the new light, the new life energy of this day, we would say, I am yet to be. I am divine mystery. Not even me living a whole lifetime experiencing me could I completely discover everything that I am. Therefore, self-realization was like the steps in life that we give, like the breaths we take in and the breaths we give out. So this discovery became a part of your life for the rest of your life, and you could never finish realizing yourself because it's infinite. So this is the powerful portal. It's the spiritual journey here in the Andes of every high priest and priestess. And we're constantly exploring these portals without any limitations in a respectful, humble way, because it is only thanks to the mother and the father that you can be here and experience that. And not only your biological parents, but also your parents as cosmic parents, like time and space, or your parents in the elementals, like Mother Earth and the Apus. So it's very, very powerful, it's grand, it's very special, this journey that we have here in the Andes.
Oh, that sounds so wonderful. And when you were talking about realizing that we are mystery, the divine sort of mystery is us and our life, that's just sort of taken everything to a deeper understanding or a deeper sense of awareness, as well as humility. We don't know who we are. We just sort of like see things in a very narrow-minded perspective, and that's filtered through or based around what we've been taught. And it's almost like, if I'm understanding what you're talking about, is sort of opening our awareness to something bigger, which is minute aspect, that we are connected to everything in existence that we are aware of, and also what we are not aware of. Is that correct?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. It's just so fascinating, because I'm seeing also similarities in some of the spiritual teachings in other parts of the world as well, which highlights more of the sacred wisdom that we've all have had, regardless of where we are in the world and what lineage or DNA or culture we come from. If we look deep enough, the sacred wisdom in one way or another is there. So we need people like yourselves, especially for us in the Western world, where we've had this disconnect, to help us, show us the way back to our connection and our understanding of the divine mystery. And I could go on a whole new tangent on that, but I won't, because I want to ask a question, because you're talking about in your cult, in your tradition, you have initiations at a very young age. So for someone who is, say, older, so maybe in their 20s or 30s, can they also undergo such a profound initiation and to open themselves up to this connection with the divine mystery?
Yes, of course. While we are here on Mother Earth and while we are breathing, we are constantly going through these initiations. So there is no age limit. It was just that in ancient times, it was recommended, it was preferably, that you would be self-realized by that early age, because you're entering into that part of life where you're ready to create new life, where you are going through the most important years, which are those teenage years. And it was one of the most powerful ceremonies here in the Andes, which we still practice in our families and in some communities, it's not practiced everywhere. It's a lot of these traditions have also been put to sleep because of the colonization, because of the conquest, of the Spanish people. Many of these traditions were maintained to be secret. My training with my grandfather was kept in secret, even from my parents, for many years, because my grandfather didn't want my father to take me to the bigger city and probably, find other visions, other realizations. So it was kept in secret for the longest time. And nowadays it's being brought back. Like in many parts of the world, this sacred knowledge is reawakening and it's returning. We believe a lineage is alive and it's conscious, and it chooses the best times and the best places, and also the people to return through for the generations that will need it. So that those lineages live, in the parallel dimensions, and they manifest themselves in ways of life of many indigenous people and many cultures throughout the planet. That's why we always had seen that every tradition in the planet is like the rays of the rainbow. They're as unique, they're as special as each color, as each ray. Though they all belong to one origin, they all belong to one source, which is the light. And that's why in all of the traditions, in all of the lineages, belief systems, spiritual practices, religions throughout the planet, there is a common essence, which is those origins, which is the light where they come from. While they can also be as unique and as special and as powerful as each ray of the rainbow. Only one of those rays is here in the Andes. We have access to only one of those rays. When we learn about traditions globally nowadays, because we are a global culture, now we have a possibility to access the other rays of the rainbow. So it's a powerful times in which we are in these times, to be able to access these sacred lineages that are coming back, and they're awakening in many indigenous communities, because these are the times for it. We need it for our evolution. We need it for the awakening of our consciousness.
And I also believe we need it for the soul of our planet as well. And this is something I think why the theme of this conference is, especially from a Western perspective, we've gone too far sort of hedonistic, too far ego-driven, and what's missing is the soul. And we may feel that we, especially in the West and how we've treated other people, we've almost forgotten how to come back to our soul. When we go searching, we tend to, and I'm being very generalized here, the colonialist attitude, to take. But we're not supposed to take, we are supposed to sit, at least in my opinion, sit and listen, observe. And actually, as you've just said, we all have this sacred teaching within us. And we need to then awaken our own through the help of the Indigenous peoples like yourselves, who are now given the opportunity to rise up and share your knowledge. So that's really fascinating, and also giving people like myself a bit more hope. The world seems to be doom and gloom, but there aren't. There's lots of rays of rainbows out there that can give us a sense of purpose. And as I say, I keep coming back to what you said earlier, the divine mystery, because I really love that phrase. So next question I'd like to ask.
We have a powerful connection with our soul and our spirit. When we enter to the fifth dimension, which is the dimension of the dreams, that's the kingdom, we say, of our soul meeting spirit. Our soul that comes from the divine origins, from the absolute sun. That's why the Andean people were considered the children of the sun. And the spirit which is a sacred essence that lives here on Mother Earth, and it's timeless. So there is a powerful connection when the soul meets the spirit in our sleep time, in our dream time, which is reconnecting with our sacred origins, where we come from, and at the same time being able to see in so many more perspectives the life that we are living, the family, the community, the experiences, the lessons we are receiving. So one of the best opportunities to come back to our soul is when we go to sleep. If we went to sleep with that intention, that I'm going to come back to my soul, that I'm going to liberate those limitations of the ego I am, and enter into the soul I am, the best place is our dream time. It's the most powerful time. That's why many masters, many teachers train their powerful arts of healing practices, their energy work in dream time, because they're completely connected with the soul when they're in that fifth dimension. So that's what I would recommend to our brothers and sisters, to intentionally go to the dream time, realizing that we're connecting with our soul.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you've just covered what my next question was, but I just sort of want to maybe elaborate a little bit more on that. And how do we know that we have actual spiritual understanding of I am, as opposed to a more egocentric understanding or self-identification? You mentioned that a little bit earlier as well, about the labels that we have, but is there anything else that you can elaborate the difference between understanding the spiritual connection?
Yes, Francis, is very simple. Is, as I was saying in the beginning, when we take it for granted and we say, I am a healer, for example, that's the ego. Because of the divine mystery that I am only choosing to be a healer. So that's limited. And we always say the ego's mission, the ego's work is to constantly limit you until you can transcend those limitations. If you say, I'm a healer also, because you're opening up to the divine mystery, then that is a soul I am. That is no longer coming from the ego. So if you say, I am worried, I am tired, I am, whatever doesn't serve you, that's coming from the ego. So for us, it was even delicate to say, I am tired. My grandfather, in his late years, when he was blind, when he was getting tired, even then, he actually never said, I am tired. Anytime I would say, I am tired, he would always say, you're too young to be tired. And even in his last years, the only thing he said, not to bring that into the ego, was, I am getting tired. And that was it. He actually never said, I am tired. So you have to be very careful that you don't limit yourself, because if you're limiting yourself with the I am, that's coming from the ego. If you are acknowledging and honoring yourself, because yes, you can get tired, you can get drained, you can get overworked physically, emotionally, spiritually. But if you're going to use the I am portal, you don't use it to say I am tired, because that's what you're manifesting. So it was very delicate that we don't use that ego limitation for that portal of I am, and that we're constantly liberating ourselves, with little changes in the way we realize ourselves, in the way we manifest how we are being, for example. So it's okay to say, I am worrying right now. I am stressing, but you can't say I am stressed because you just manifested that completely for your whole self. And even cells that were fresh and happy and relaxed are now stressed, because I am is the manifestation, is the portal. So whatever limits you is the ego. Whatever liberates you is the soul.
Would it work the opposite way, saying, because I know there is an interest in affirmations, saying, I am happy, I am love? Is it also limiting us to those emotions or concepts as well? We should say, I am feeling love, I am feeling happy.
Yes, that makes it more powerful, and it makes it more present, because I am happy means you could be taking that for granted, and in the next moment something could present itself to make you feel happy. And here's the tricky part about that ego affirmation is, oh, I guess I'm not happy, because all of a sudden something happened and I'm not happy anymore. So there can be the possibility for self-sabotage. You can say, I am happiness, which is free. Or you can, instead of taking for granted that you are love, you can say, I am unconditional love. So you're actually taking it to the next level. And at that point, ego can no longer limit that.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating how words can actually affect not only our feelings, our emotions, but our whole, as you were saying, even down to our cells, our cellular construction within our own being, which can have a longer lasting effect on us. This is really fascinating.
These words are the expressions of our soul. These words are expressions of our evolved consciousness. So it's very important to use them wisely. Once we say them, they become more powerful. But even just thinking them already have effects, already have power. So we need to be very delicate, even when we're thinking them.
So just to sort of change the direction that we're heading into, or questions that I've been dying to ask you, what do the Incan prophecies say about this awakening of consciousness? You have mentioned that things are coming out of the sleep time of the shadow, so to speak, but are there any specific prophecies that are talking about this awakening of consciousness?
The main prophecy of Pachacuti here in the Andes, it speaks of cycles of thousands of years that humanity goes through. And these cycles of thousands of years are powerful cycles. They're whole times of existence and consciousness and how we have lived our lives. Apparently, thousands of years ago, our ancestors had broken many cosmic laws, and they put the life of our planet in danger. And the guardians of Mother Earth, the cosmic gardeners of life throughout the universe, had allowed the continuity of humanity in this planet, but with one program. We were programmed. Every generation be less evolved than the last. We were systematically being put to sleep so that we couldn't harm our planet so much, like our ancestors have with the advanced technologies that they have reached in the past. So every generation was less evolved, and that happened for thousands of years. So that's how we have been unevolving ourselves for thousands of years. We were not in the same level of consciousness, in the same level of energy vibration. We were not in the same level of intelligence, in the physical strength and same capacity as our grandfathers and grandmothers thousands of years ago. So that cycle of thousands of years has just been completed in the arrival of this millennia. According to the prophecies, they're also marking around 2012, which was that point of transition. And where the program until that point was, you need to be less and less and less evolved. And that's how we have been coming through these thousands of years. It changes. In the portal that we just been through, now the new program is how evolved can you be? How awake? And we will be able to, the future generations after these times, in these new times, in this new Pachacuti, in these new eras, we will be able to access powerful technologies, advanced technologies. Again, though, with a different consciousness, with a different mentality, one that will have greater respect for our planet, one that will have more caring and more protection for our Mother Earth, for our sacred planet, our solar systems, even our whole galaxy, because the micro always affects the macro. So everything that happens in the micro has a great effect in the macro, as well as everything that is happening in the macro has a great effect in the micro. So here on our Pachamama, humanity is going to be awakening, it's going to be evolving. Self-realization was a choice in the last program, in the last cycle. In this cycle, it is no longer a choice. It's a chance, yes or yes chance, that you need to realize yourself in order to survive, in order to continue here in this planet. Otherwise, you can no longer be here. So that's going to be in the next years coming, our cycles. Humanity will need to evolve, yes or yes. That is the beauty, in fact, for us. That is the power of these new times, of this new Pachacuti. We have been chosen to be the generation guardian and witness of these powerful transitions. Our ancestors, 2,000, 3,000 years ago, used to pray that these times would go in a gentle way, that these powerful transitions would be gentle for humanity. And we are going through the gentle transition processes. It could have been harder. In ancient times, they speak in myths and legends that whole humanities had to disappear in this time of transitions, and almost new humanity was put in the earth. New seeds, new human beings. So for us, when we were speaking of these myths and legends back in the 90s, in the early 2000s, we always used to say that we are the last generation of the unevolved humanity. The children arriving in these new times, they're coming ready for these new times. They're coming ready for this Pachacuti. And self-realization will no longer happen at the age of 12 or 13, but rather at the age of 2 and 3, probably. And guess what? That has been the reality. Children that are born now, they have their set personality and fully conscious of this personality at the earliest ages. You can see even these personalities. I don't know if you were able to see now, thanks to social media, you can show babies with a very marked emotional processes, whether they're happy or not happy to be here in this planet in these times right now. So even those personalities are marked because we're in the new era where evolution is inevitable. Awakening is inevitable. It's going to be happening more and more in an accelerated paces for the whole global community. So this is the power of this new Pachacuti, of this new era. We are living in times where thousands of years cycles are closing and thousands of years cycles are opening up. We're living in the best times that we could be living in right now. And it is a big privilege for us to be guardians of these powerful changes of times, Pachacutis, we call them.
Yeah. And it almost sounds like there's more of a, I wouldn't say an urgency, but more of a deep importance for us to truly discover who we are in this current environment that we're in order for us to transition through and make the most of these grand awakenings that are happening all around us as well. That's really fascinating because there's a similar story in, as you say, in the myths and all around the world. From ancient Egypt talks about that, and a lot of the Indonesian and Polynesian communities that talk about that as well. Even, I suppose, from what little I know of the Bible, that there's huge stories of either great devastation or great arisings of the next sort of race or groups of people to take us forward. And each one starts off with a deeper connection and reference with the earth as well. This has been very fascinating, and I would love to continue this discussion, but unfortunately we are coming very close to the end of our time, Puma. First, I would like to start by thanking you very sincerely for what you have shared with us today. It's been truly inspirational, and again, I'll keep coming back to the divine mystery. I really enjoy that. How can people reach out to you and find you and learn more about your work, especially if this has really resonated with them?
Our school is called Noqan Kani. And it's actually also the name of our website. So when you share, please share that website for our global family to be in contact with us. And through Noqan Kani, you will have access to what programs we have. Our school has basically become an online school. Instead of a physical school where we train our students. That was the vision originally, but then our school had become a virtual school. So more people can have access to it, because not everybody can come to Peru. Not everybody can access these high mountains, and not a lot of people are able to be in these high altitudes. So that's the gift and the privilege of this powerful technology. So Noqan Kani is our school, and noqankani.com is the site to reach out to your brother Puma and family team.
Yes, and for everybody who's watching this, below the video, you'll find the address for the website. And Puma, I also understand you have a little bonus for anybody who is watching this interview as well. Something about medicine of crystal.
Yes. So I would like to share with you this powerful practice here in the Andes. Crystals have one nature, and that's they're conductors of highly refined energy. We, in the microscopic part of ourselves, we are also quartz crystals. So it is part of our nature. When you visualize yourself inside a crystal, you are immediately changing heavy energy, low frequency energy into high frequency energy, into refined energy. And so, for example, right now with this extra bonus, I would like you to take a breath, a deep breath in, and share this powerful crystal medicine. Become a crystal. more of this powerful practice with the crystal will be coming in this sacred bonus.
Sounds beautiful. Thank you again, Puma. And as I just mentioned, I'm going to try and pronounce it Noqan Kani. So noqankani.com will be listed below. And if also we want to take advantage of Puma's wonderful gift as well. And also maybe check out the online school if this is resonating with you and finding the similarities of these fantastic teachings all around the world, definitely there. So once again, it's been absolutely wonderful and inspiring having you here, Puma. Thank you very much for sharing
Thank
your
you, Frances.
wisdom.
As we're closing, I would like to give a little blessing with the black tobacco and the coca leaves.
Yes, certainly.
For all my brothers and sisters, may you remember who you are. May you remember where you come from. And may you live this life in absolute joy and happiness, in service and ceremony. Infinite blessings. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for that, Puma. And to everybody who is watching, Natalia, thank you. I hope you have enjoyed this as much as I have. And I look forward to seeing you again. Blessed.